Well, actually, first, Ryan Kent seemed like he was in a little bit of those drills. What's the latest with him?
He might not be done this year.
Done unavailable? Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
like people may have said, like Paul Areola, done for the season. He might not be done because he's actually looked really good. Now, he did have a very considerable injury, but there's a chance. Those guys are trying to ramp him up for the first round of the playoffs. I don't know when, because we've got to, number one, wait for who we're playing and then the schedule, and then we'll see. But he looked good out there.
Is there any chance that he would play against New York, or is that...
No.
Okay.
No, we're not talking about this. We're talking about maybe in the playoffs.
Okay.
We also saw Yamar out there and Kim. Is there any more on Kim Keehee? You had kind of mentioned a little bit.
They're still working on getting him an appointment with a specialist to look at the mass that's in his calf to see if they can't get rid of it, make it go away, make him be able to play through, because it's all associated with, some stuff, and I don't have all the details there, but I know he's in line to see some specialist somewhere in the Midwest.
Is there concerns beyond soccer? I mean, that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Nothing not like a blood clot or anything like that. No.
And then Yamar, is there any update?
Yamar's going to get closer. I mean, look, when he had the injury, it was against the Whitecaps. We said about 4 weeks. He's been a pretty strong recoverer. I don't think that's a word, but he recovers well from, injuries. He's had a couple of them now. So that's the reason for a little bit of caution, because he's had a couple. But, look, it's getting to that point in the year that you're going to take some risks. We'd like to have them.
Jeremiah's got all the stats, but just because you guys have played a lot of matches and this match isn't going to move you up or down or anything, do you want to rest anybody or try anything different?
We are going to talk about that now as a coaching staff. We did the review of RSL, what worked, what didn't work. There's a side of me that says, we want to keep some momentum into the playoffs. There's that side of me. There's also the side that, look, Christian's playing tonight. Obed's had a heavy load. Knew who's coming off some, African qualifiers. There's a side of me that wants to kind of be smart about stuff, but I don't want to outthink myself. When your team is playing well, you like to keep them together. So we'll make some final decisions, and, we'll see where we land for this game. But, again, the last game against RSL showed you whatever team we put out there, we're not going to fly all the way back to New York just to roll over. That's not what we're going to do.
On those same token, Obed was back. What's the ETA on Snyder, Georgie, Nuhu, Christian?
They're all coming back. Well, Christian will be back, so the game's tonight. He'll be back tomorrow. Same with Nuhu. Schneider, I'm unaware of. Georgie will be back. Reed should be back tomorrow. I think tomorrow. Those flights are long, they got whatever. But they'll all be back here for the trip to New York.
How much of the Obed Vargas games do you guys watch? I mean, he was kind of put into like a very different role, a little bit sacrificing there, really to get on the ball. How much do you make of it, I guess?
That's there, his coach for the 20s does all the tactics, knows his team, understands what he wants to get out of his team. Obed's a super talented guy. I know Mexico's disappointed, but look, on the day, Argentina was better. I mean, look, the first goal, you could say they had a guy injured, but you got to compensate. You can't let the ball go behind you then. And then, the game kind of got out of hand a little bit. It was a pretty physical game. So, Obed's got to learn from that.
Can you talk a little bit about Christian and what he's been able to bring to the team this season, on and off? I mean, we've long talked about him or wanting personally for him to be at the position that he's at, and it seems like it's just really worked well for him this season, and that he's done a lot for you guys this season. So, coach speak, what is it?
Well, he does a little bit of everything. Athletically, he's tremendous. Technically, his long striking is just as good as any sixes in this league. Some of his clean touches, the goal we gave up against Miami, he can do a little bit better there. His tactical awareness of how we want to play is excellent. He does a lot of great things, Jada. He's been great. It's kind of, refreshing to see, because I was one of the guys that always said, Christian was really good out here. And he was.
Yeah.
He helped us win a bunch of championships. But I think as time kind of moved on and his career is coming now full circle, coming back to the middle of the field, I think it suits him.
Is this one of the seasons, because you came in, we didn't know for sure how Jesus was going to play, and Christian in that position, wasn't a guarantee. Obed's developed, and you've had all these injuries. Has this been the most challenging and successful for you as a coach? There's not really somebody that outsiders could be like, oh, he's only successful because Nico's here or Raul's here. Seems like you've really done a good job coaching.
Well, thank you for that compliment.
Thank you.
See, you guys,
I didn't want to do a homer type of thing.
You guys don't compliment me, but she does.
Yeah.
Jada, that was a great question. Thank you.
I don't really want to be homer with you, but
I'm very
Finally.
There's different, Jada. Thank you for the question. On a serious note, look, each team is different. The team I took over in 2016. My first go around as the head guy, that was challenging because there was a lot of really super talented, experienced players there, and that was managing, expectations and, trying to get the tactics right. But we had a really good team, and Ozzy was motivated, and we had just and it turned out well. 2017, there were different challenges. How did we improve? Did we improve? 18 was, Raul's midway through the year. We ended that season, 18 games unbeaten, or 16 games. We lost 2 out of 18, something like that. 19 was good. Look, I'm proud of the job that all of us have done. I think this year what I would say is that the way the group responded as a collective, which has been one of my messages for a long time, has been really super impressive. They all bought into it. They all understood it. They all understand the expectations that go along with playing for this club and this franchise. So that just means my words did kind of finally all come together this year, because we've been through a lot of adversity. If you look at Paul going out early in the season, you talked about it, incorporating a talented guy like Jesus wasn't easy. Some of those games were a struggle, and I couldn't find the right spot for him. And now he's kind of fit in, getting Pedro back on the horse, getting him fit, healthy. It was credit to the sports science guys and everybody. Having Danny Musovski score 16 goals. That's credit to some of the extra work that the guys have done with Danny and getting him to understand his role. And, there's a lot of success stories, a lot of success stories this year.
Staying on the very good coaching job that you've done, I went back to look at the first 45 minutes of that game. The spacing, the passing, the transition moments. It looked better in the second time than the first time. Now that you've looked at that tape, is there anything that stuck out that maybe you can continue to build from there?
Yeah. So when we switched to the back line of 5, early on in the year it was kind of mixed bag. We started off really well, and I think the spacing was good. Alex inside was helping Jackson, and Jonathan Bell on his side, and Paul. I thought Pedro and Jesus were influential in those soft areas. But then what happened was JP started to run out a little bit of gas, and Pedro was a little bit winded in that first part of the second half. Mm-hmm. And we just kind of got a little loose, gave some balls away, had to defend. The natural swing of emotion because we didn't score the second or third goal kind of was wearing on guys. I could feel there was some weight on the shoulders at halftime. We tried to get them out of it and say, hey, no, that was a great half. But you know, we were good. I thought we were really good, and it gives us cause to think about how we move forward in the playoffs.
You know, we talked to Jesus about he's played in 44 games. You guys will play at least 47 this year, which I think is the most since you've taken over.
Mm-hmm.
How does that sort of change the dynamic of training when you know you have all these games, and even in a perfect world where you didn't have all these injuries, you were still going to have to, you know, move guys around and try different things?
Look, we've had some really good sports science guys here, starting with Dave Tenney and a bunch of guys, Damien, the other Adam, Sean, everybody. But Adam Centofanti is, in my eyes, the best. I think he does a great job with his on the grass, how he gets them, you know, to be in a good mood and, you know, start the training on a positive. His demeanor is excellent, and then he's also very smart. We talk about it as a collective. You know, there again, I have a lot of experience, so kind of help guide everybody and make sure that we don't overcook guys, because that's what you're fearful of, you know, injuries, and you know, I think we as a staff have done a great job.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you,
sir.
everybody.